Hello, everyone. It's Dr. Jensen from Dean's Chat. If you're on the fence as to whether you want to join the American Podiatric Medical Association, jump on in. It's a new APMA. Whether it's advocacy concerns, scope of practice, billing and coding, consider membership at the APMA as your professional insurance. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Dean's Chat, where we discuss all things podiatric medicine. My name is Dr. Jeffrey Jensen. I'm the Dean at the Arizona College of Podiatric Medicine and the co-host for the Dean's Chat podcast. Once again, I'm with Dr. Joanna Richey, and we've been co-hosting this together for the last few years. And Joe, we're about to release our 300th episode.
Wow, it's absolutely incredible. And Valentine's Day is coming up, so we're going to share the love with all the things that we've learned from interviewing more than 300 people.
That's incredible. Well, I don't know where the time goes, Joe, but I think it is appropriate. And I've been going through the episodes and I found a few that we can highlight. But, maybe we could talk about the overreaching vibe of the podcast. Well, what is kind of your thoughts?
Yeah, honestly, Jeff, my favorite thing and in some ways, maybe this is what I needed to hear from the podcast is out of all of these incredible people that we've interviewed at various stages of career, no one's path is linear. It's so easy. We find there's this prescription to become a doctor, right? Like you go to high school, you graduate and you go to college, you go do all these extracurriculars, you build up your resume, then you go to medical school, or maybe you go to graduate school and then medical school. But there's like a very prescripted pathway. And then at some point in your career, you graduate residency, you graduate fellowship, you get your first job, and then suddenly it kind of stops that prescription of what happens. Like, what do I do next? And it's interesting, as we've talked to so many people, no one has the same path, because at some point it transitions from here's all the things you have to do to what do I want to do? Where do I want to spend my time? And for some people, it's investing in their life outside medicine. We've had amazing guests with side hobbies that they've really invested their time in, family experiences that they've had. And for other people, it's really leaning into certain subspecialties, even within podiatry. And so it's been really fun to hear how different that path looks. What are your thoughts?
I agree with you. And I also think it's interesting because we catch the students at the very beginning, right? And so we're student-centric. In fact, we've interviewed students from all the different colleges. And what I think is really neat, Joe, is our sponsors, both APMA and Baco Diagnostics, they really highlight students too. And they understand the future of our profession lies in the people we're bringing into the profession, because 10, 15, 20 years down the road, they're going to be defining what podiatric medicine and surgery is all about. So your thoughts on the students?
Oh, Jeff, our students are incredible. And I think, again, if me just saying that hasn't helped convince anyone, just listening to these highly engaged, brilliant students talk about their own experiences and what it's like, what drew them into the profession. And I think you can mirror this. You and I get to talk to students anyway, as we get to interview for our own individual college. But it's been so rewarding that the things that we think matter, shadowing, having the opportunity to see what is this podiatric surgery? What is podiatric medicine? What does this really mean? When they get the chance to really see that in real life, they start to realize how many of the things that they've been looking for in medicine, it checks the boxes. And, having wound care, sports medicine, surgery, biomechanics, there's so many different facets in the specialty itself that there's still so much opportunity. And so I think, having heard from them, their voices, their experiences has really just been a really fun opportunity this year.
I agree. Let's talk about some leadership. Leadership is it's a buzzword, but on Dean's Chat, it's not a buzzword. It's kind of the theme oftentimes about our guests and about the organizations that are leading our profession. I was going to kick it off with APMA. We've just had a tremendous year. Not only are they a sponsor, but we work with them a lot. And we've worked with Megan McClellan on multiple projects. The current president, Dr. Brooke Bisbee, has been wonderful. Incoming president, Patrick DeHeer, started the student recruitment effort for social media with evidence-based research And that's all coming to fruition now. So it's funny how leadership starts and then sometimes it doesn't flourish for a couple of years because you got to plant those seeds to get things going.
And Jeff, I think that's the other thing that's been really interesting as we've talked to so many different leaders across the profession is hearing that dedication, that resilience and grit of, what matters, what's important. And good leadership takes courage and it takes integrity. And unfortunately, our leaders across the board have had to take the bullets, if you will, for several years of trying to really keep that message. And again, it's been so humbling to hear their stories and the joy that they have in the work that they're doing, why that leadership matters to them. And you can feel it through the interviews. And, you and I, we do it through a computer, but there is something wonderful about seeing someone's face, see how they light up when they talk about some of these things. And, we had Mike Dugella and Tai Lu, Alan Ng, Jean Pascarella. We've had some of these remarkable people that are so devoted to our profession, and to hear them highlight other people and to talk about their mentors and the humility that they all bring to the table, but also maintaining that excellence. It's inspiring is what it is.
It is inspiring. And Joe, as you know, we have a big student recruitment issue within the profession. And while we were able to get early initiatives going, it takes funding and leadership to continue them. So you mentioned Dr. Pascarella with the Podiatry Foundation. They've really taken the bull by the horns. Yeah. They put a lot of money into this next phase of student recruitment. But Jean's also recruited the American Board of Foot and Ankle Surgeons, ACFAS, to your point, Alan Ng and their leadership, truly incredible, as well as the AACPM, the colleges all together, the leadership of Alan Boyk and Maury North. Seems like everybody just comes together, and it's really been interesting. I'll just throw a number out there. For the next year, we've raised $1.25 million, and Jean was a significant leader in that fundraising effort.
Yeah, because, Jeff, our profession is filled with so much talent. We are an amazing group of people, right? Podiatry is small, but there is so much amazing work that's happening. And I'm just so excited to continue to see what the future holds. It's been really fun to do some of these conference spotlights to kind of peel behind the scenes, if you will.
Yes.
To talk to different leaders that are doing, grant-funded research, NIH grants. There's so much talent that's out there. And it's just been really inspiring and humbling to hear their stories and the things that light them up. And I know, because we get the feedback from people, how much it helps others feel that same connection. And again, when we can help support each other and lift each other up in the good work that we are already doing, we're unstoppable.
No, I agree. That is interesting. That was great talking to both Dr. Schmidt and Dr. Gerges from the University of Michigan. They're at the leading edge of research. But Joe, we also talked to leaders in education. Chitra Subramanian with AO North America. It's funny because we put a playlist together just a couple weeks ago, and there's like 36 interviews with surgical leaders in our profession. And so that was really, I didn't realize we had done that many, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it's another one of those areas where getting so many incredible, talented people together, united around a mission of excellence in surgical education. And it's just, again, you've seen, I get super nerdy and I just love this stuff so much. It's what fills my cup. So it's the thing that now at this phase of my life, it's been really wonderful to just lean into that and design the life that you want and spend your time in the areas that really bring that satisfaction. And you can see the good that's come out of it. And to your point, it does take time. Things don't happen overnight, and there's patience and the willingness to be part of the process of feeling. Sometimes we talk about deliberate practice and feeling the muddiness of it, of having to kind of get through some of it. But in those moments when you're stuck in it, remembering that you're not alone. This is part of it. And you actually get better as you're having to kind of track through that mud. Again, I just have appreciated so much the vulnerability that people share about their own experiences and how, again, unplanned or not, how they've gotten to where they are. And I'm just continue to be more and more excited to keep talking and keep listening to what people have to say.
Absolutely. Hey, I highlighted a bunch of episodes. Love to get your feedback on some of them because I thought they were some of the best. We interviewed a father and daughter combination, Walter and Bella Strash. I thought it was a great interview because Bella's a fourth-year student down in Texas, and Walter's been a leader in our profession. It was really neat to see legacy efforts going forward.
Absolutely. And, Bella's outstanding. I follow her on some of the social media stuff. And I love that she gets to capture this experience, but share it with her dad. What a beautiful recognition of, you have said this before with legacy students, they're not going to go into something if they've watched their parents be miserable in a career, and parents aren't going to support their kids going into something that they don't think is worthwhile and has a future. And so I really loved, I wasn't part of that interview, but I really loved that interview that you guys had. It was outstanding.
I thought so too. We also highlight residencies. And I thought one of the really good interviews we had was with Dr. Ashley Mehta from Wake Forest. She's recently taken over that program. And Joe, I sent a bunch of our students their way for clerkships, and they're interviewing for residency. So I thought that was a phenomenal interview too.
Yeah, Dr. Mehta is another just incredible human being and such a force for good. Every time I get to interact with her, I think the world of the amount of time and energy and dedication that she puts into her residents and the profession as a whole. And I again, just like you, I can't say high enough things sometimes. And sometimes I think the students maybe think that we, exaggerate. But we have recently been hearing some of them come back, and you start hearing common things, right? Students have great experiences in some consistent manners. It really starts to provide that feedback that it's not just me, in my opinion. They are also coming back with that same experience. So.
Absolutely. How about Katerina Grigoropoulos?
Oh man,
She was incredible. I mean, we have a comedian within our podiatric community.
Yeah. And, Jeff, what I really liked about her interview was talking about some of the communication, like what we do and how we do it. There's a lot of ways to do it, and the value of some of the things outside of the profession, perhaps, and how it actually can help strengthen us and make us better. I really enjoyed that episode.
I did too. Another thing we talk about a lot are fellowship programs, not only current people, docs in fellowship, but fellowship directors. But we had a very candid interview with Michael Radcliffe after he had finished the fellowship program here in Phoenix, and he went to practice in Texas. And he really shed light on the fellowship application process, the experience during fellowship, and then the job search afterwards. I just thought it was a very expanding interview that really would make a difference for a lot of students and residents currently.
Absolutely. I really appreciated, and you used the word candid, and I think that's exactly, it was so nice to be very transparent and joyful in the experiences that he had, both good and bad, and helping really with the intent of helping other people navigate through that process. And I agree. I've gotten some really great feedback from residents that were kind of looking into it and fellows. So, this is again that everyone that has come and shared their experiences has helped someone else in their own journey. And I agree. His interview it was outstanding.
Well, that's a nice segue into giving back and doing mission trips. We interviewed Brian Derner, Bones Pro Bono. And again, there's so many different mission trips and opportunities to help underserved areas, but I thought Brian's interview was great.
Yeah, another legacy practitioner too. Brian's dad is a podiatric legend in the community. We still need to get him on, actually. But just Brian is one of those, again, just force for good. The dedication and devotion of helping people across the world with lower limb problems. I know he and Glenn Weinrob have put so much effort into the Bones Pro Bono mission, and I appreciate so much that what they're focus on is not medical tourism. We're going to go into a country, do a thing, and then leave, which is actually sometimes more dangerous for a population than setting up something that's sustainable. And so looking at it through that lens, again, I really give them a lot of credit for spreading really great work in the profession.
I agree. I think it's also important that we recognize the history of our profession and where we've come from. So we've done some incredible interviews. One I did, it was live from the Midwest Conference, and it was the University of Texas experience. And 4 guests. I mean, we did it during the actual conference, and Larry Harkless and David Armstrong and Larry Lavery, John Steinberg, and I just had a discussion for about 45 minutes. And it was just like a trip down memory lane of our profession. So little opportunities like that we'll try to keep taking advantage of.
Yeah, because Jeff, those are the moments that, like, I remember, several years ago, in your mind, you're like, I wish I could just be a fly on the wall, right? And someone tell the story of what this was like. And it's so neat to capture that and then to listen to it and be able to go back and listen to it again as many times. And it's fun to listen. Like, there's a couple that for whatever reason, I'll end up listening to more than once. And every single time I catch something different that maybe the first time or even second time somehow didn't resonate in the same way as when I heard it. It's like, it's fun that it's like whatever maybe I'm seeking in the moment, you hear different things or, yeah.
Well, and then we were kind of put on the spot a couple of times because we did an APMA news takeover and we were the guests, which is a different perspective, right?
Completely. Yeah. And humbling in the way that, like, you remember what it feels like, to be on that side of things. So it's good. It's good to remember how it feels to be asked questions sometimes without as much planning or honesty and transparency that you want to provide, but still maintain some professional decorum.
Absolutely. And also, Joe, I've thoroughly enjoyed doing these interviews with you. You make it easy. I think we make a great team. And I really think we put our guests at ease, right? We make them comfortable and make them feel at home. And you kind of forget you're on camera when you're just kind of having a chat. It's like we're out drinking coffee or something.
Yeah, I agree, Jeff. I love working with you. You've always been one of those people that helps lift up ideas and support ideas. And even just in conversational pieces, like you'll say something and I'll, oh, that's really neat. And then I'll take it a direction, then you'll build on it. And so I agree. It's really been fun. And I think because of that dynamic, it does help people feel comfortable because they know that we are going to lift them, support them. We're not here to make people feel confrontational or put on the spot on something that they weren't planning on. And again, that makes it enjoyable for everyone, the guests, us, and hopefully the listeners as well. So it's been a really, really great 300, and I look forward to the next, maybe 300. Who knows?
You never know. But Joe, we couldn't do it without our editors and our good friends at Pod Populi. Miles Mendez is unbelievable, and he puts up with our crazy hectic schedules and our cancellations and
last minute cancellations.
If you're there, Miles, feel free to click on.
He does not want to be on camera, but we support you, Miles. You've been absolutely wonderful. And we've had a couple of really great editors through the 2 years or so. And I agree, Jeff, you and I could not do this alone. I love our team at Dean's Chat, and Pod Populi is a big part of that.
For sure. And again, kudos to APMA and Baco Diagnostics for helping us put this podcast on, because without their support, it'd be harder to do for sure. And they're way more than just financial supporters. Like I said, they're contributors, and we work together, and it's been a collaborative effort. So it's just been so enjoyable to work with them.
Completely agree.
All right. Well, Joe, here's to the next 100 at least, right?
That's right.
To all of our listeners out there, and our Dean's Chat.
I got mine. Yeah.
I'm still drinking
cheers
coffee.
To it.
Cheers. And to all of our listeners, if you're listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, please give us a 5-star rating or leave a comment or two. And if you're watching on YouTube, by all means, become a subscriber. And Joe and I will continue to bring you both future leaders and current leaders in podiatric medicine and surgery. Cheers, everybody. Bye-bye. And happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day. Share the love.